Okay, here we go, another walk around. I am here with Richard from Designed and Built on YouTube. A lot of 40 series guys already know who Richard is. If you don't, check out his Insta. More importantly, go over to his YouTube and watch this build unfold. This is such a big build that I actually need Richard's help. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Mate, we're going to walk through this. Some of our bigger builds here, I'll miss half the stuff. This is an amazing build. A 1994 80 series chassis with a 1973 cab on it.
Yep.
And you've done the Barra, the XR6, and you've done it all yourself.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about the whole thing. You built this yourself, mate.
Yeah, there are bits and pieces I've outsourced, and there are people that have come and helped me in the shed, but yeah, I mean the majority of it has been done in my shed and I've done it myself. And
you're one of the guys behind LCS 4x4 down in Victoria?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I work with Laurie.
This is a working advertisement, a walking advertisement for LCS 4x4, so we'll go through this. Now, you told me you started with a chassis, so you've just got a chassis, not an 80 series, and you built it up from there?
Yeah, so I basically walked into Laurie's shed from LCS one day and I saw he was building a 4080 and I wanted one. So he sorted out mounting a cab on a chassis for me, and then a month later it rolled into my garage, and yeah, we went from there.
So you found this in bits and pieces. Did you buy a whole 73 or did you find some bits online? Or?
I think he had a whole 73 sitting there.
Yep.
And I think I don't know where he got the chassis from.
You put your hand up?
Yeah, I put my hand up. And
you were saying earlier, you've pretty much, so Laurie has done your mounts, he's put it on the cab, and you took it home and took over from there.
Yeah.
Apart from pretty much paint and a bit of preparation work, you've done this whole build.
Yep.
And we're running the XR6 with the Barra, and you've got the ZF 6-speed gearbox, which is the Falcon gearbox as well.
Yep.
And the 79 series transfer.
Yep.
And what's that, Marks adapters or?
PJ's adapters. I think they're from up here somewhere. Yep.
Now this is really innovative because a lot of guys are doing these now. So you guys have got a lot of this stuff on the shelf as well to make these builds possible. So guys at home, guys can do their own Barras on 80s with 40s. You and LCS are doing a lot of R&D there.
Yeah, we're doing a heap of conversion parts, and I guess when we get to them, I'll point them out.
Yep. Well, let's start with underneath, mate. I've noticed. Tell me about your suspension, your axles. I know you're running some non-Toyota stuff. So what's going on underneath this vehicle?
Yeah, this build's a bit of a Frankenstein. So we're running GU Patrol diffs under this.
Yep.
So H233 front, H260 the big boy rear. I guess to make it all work, the rear it's a lot of work. Basically, you've got to shave all amounts off the Patrol one, shave all amounts off the Toyota one, and we use the spring hats from the 80 series diff, and then we just do custom bracketry.
Yep.
And then weld it onto the Patrol drift using a jig to maintain the factory hard point. So it's literally just a direct bolt up for the rear.
Yeah. Okay. How do they track? Similar to an 80 then, is it?
Yeah, very similar. I think they're a bit wider. But yeah, I mean, it works the same as an 80, like the geometry.
Yep, and you're showing me for clearance. You've cut and shut the diff underneath.
Yeah, we cut like 50 mil off the diff just to get, because the pumpkin on the H260 is huge, so we got 50 mil more clearance.
Yeah, great. Less oil needed for the rear diff. You didn't do the front diff?
No, I didn't do the front diff, but the front diff, it's pretty much a direct bolt up.
Yep.
Using some custom arms, which is all part of a kit. We braced it. And then I think that's about it. They've got ARB air lockers through them as well.
Yep. And suspension wise?
Suspension wise, it's all like pretty standard geometry.
Yep.
I braced the front coil towers, and then it's just superior remote res shocks, and it's got some Dobinson springs. Yeah.
Excellent. And moving outside of this vehicle, these are not a 40 series guard. You guys at LCS also, these are the guards that are on the shelf. People can order these guards, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so they're a 32 NB tube guard. We do them in a couple of pieces and then sort of linish them back.
And this is alloy?
Yeah, so it's an alloy top. So I guess it's 2mm alloy, and we've bent it around just using a hammer and
say goodbye to rust.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and I've gone body colour with mine. I've wrapped coated the bottom. Then I've actually clear wrapped the top, just because you tend to use these guards as a bit of a table. Or
we all do,
spot, so,
the old stubby holder spot.
Yeah. So
you've kept a few things. Period. I see the badges, the indicators. You've given it a real look. Up the front, you've got more LCS. You've got the LCS bar work going there.
Yeah, so this is
Your
the
high mount?
LCS, high mount 4580 bar. And I guess we do these for 40 series. We do a low mount style as well for 40 series and 4580s. And then I've just got an old worn high mount. I've just rebuilt it and put a Roadrunner motor on it, and I've used it a few times and it seems to go good. So yeah.
So you've used it a few times. Richard has just been on a 7,000k trip. You've just
7,000k trip.
Since building this, he put 3,000 on it, gave it a small shakedown, and now he's done another 7,000 k's. He's headed up from Victoria. He stopped in at Clex, and then the adventure right up the top of Queensland.
Yeah, I did the whole tally and came back on the Crab and the Frenchman's and did Fraser. So no, it was awesome.
You got to love Fraser. That would have been a nice holiday.
It was good in this thing, I tell you what.
And there was a convoy of a few of yous.
Yeah, there was two 4580s. We had mine and Cal's one, which is got a FTE motor in it.
Yep,
so
it's got an extended cab. That's another story. It's another walk around for another day. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Mate, anything else up the front? You've got you go with the LEDs.
Yeah,
you can
got
see
the
it. And I just
LEDs.
modernized this thing a bit.
The steadies. I guess chassis wise, I've got a GU steering box on there as well. So
Yep.
that's a kit that LCS and I do. It's basically just puts the mounting holes in a different position using a weld-on plate.
Yep. Is 80 series hard to find? Are the Nissan ones stronger?
Yeah, so the Nissan ones are stronger and they're less likely to leak is the reason why we're doing it, and it actually gives you a lighter steering feel.
They tend to, anything Toyota leaks out of the steering box, that's standard rust protection. But no, so there's a fair bit of Nissan stuff going on here because we all know they've got stronger axles and they're built tough. I'll only say that once, but I reckon we're talking about a Barra. How about we pop open the bonnet and look at some of Richard's work? Okay, this is intense. This is why I need Richard's help. But first of all, look at his bonnet stay. That's very custom, mate. The GME bonnet stay.
That's right.
Well done. And I was going through the outside of the vehicle. I didn't mention the snorkel, so it's a custom-made snorkel. I wanted to wait till we've popped open the bonnet. And you yourself, you've built the airbox, the snorkel, everything under here?
Yeah. So snorkel is just stainless 4-inch, all tigged together. Airbox is 2mm alley tigged together. I drew it up in CAD and put a clear lid on it just so I can see the filter and it looks cool, and then got my logo laser engraved on it. And then straight to the turbo. So a lot of the Barras run a crossover pipe, but I didn't really want to do that.
Yep.
I just wanted it like a cold air intake, I guess, so keep it all on one side. So I've always wanted to plumb it like that. Yeah.
So up the front here, mate, what's all going on here? You've got we've got aircon on this one. You've moved your alternator, so it just where it sits on a Ford, it wouldn't fit.
It's not that it wouldn't fit, it sort of would fit, but I was just mindful, this thing is built to be driven, and I was mindful of the river crossings and just having it down low. So I just wanted to, there's no way they designed a Falcon alternator to be like waterproof or anything like that. So just keep it up high. So there's a relocation kit, and Laurie and I from LCS actually do a Barra alternator relocation kit. And it just swaps the power steering pump and the serpentine setup's a little bit different, but I've done all that. And then this, like you mentioned, custom condenser setup to make it all work. So 75 series rad.
Yep.
We've got AC condenser, power steer cooler, and an intercooler down here. And it's all sort of mounted off this, I call it like a radiator brace. So it's basically an internal bull bar. So
that's sick.
Yeah.
So you keep the look. But you've got structure.
Exactly, yeah. If you hit a roar or anything, I think the radiator would be all right. You might have to sacrifice an intercooler, but...
still going to try and protect that engine from a roo.
Yeah.
You'll just rebuild the front end again.
That's it. And it's got a big 16-inch thermo on it. So because it is a thermofan setup, I have to carry a spare thermo.
Yep.
But it does all right for cooling. It definitely got a little bit hot on the beach, but we'll go home and work it all out.
I take it you hide another battery somewhere else in your tray? Or?
Yeah, I've got another little, I've got a lithium in the cab.
Yep.
But just one lead acid there for starting.
For your start?
Yeah.
There's so much cool stuff in here. A lot of this is going to be a walking advertisement for LCS 4x4. The website is coming, but people can get in contact with through your YouTube at Design and Built. They can go onto Instagram yourself. There's LCS 4x4 on Instagram as well. So if this appeals to anyone doing a build at home, we've got to jump on and chat to these guys. I think we might go and look at the tray. You said something about TIG welding. Now you hadn't TIGged before, you just taught yourself as you went?
Done a little bit of steel TIGging, but hadn't done any stainless and hadn't done any alley.
Yeah.
So yeah, taught myself alley and stainless. So that's another thing just about the engine really quickly. There's a TIG welded manifold, so
yep.
I guess when I did the turbo setup, it clashed with the steering column and an engine mount, so I decided to high mount it. And I really wanted a log style manifold for response while four-wheel driving.
Yep.
So I've had to make a log style high mount manifold, which is just all, I think it's 3.2mm steam pipe.
So cool. This is all trial and error as you go.
All trial and error, and there's been some dramas with it, but I'm carrying a spare manifold. So I've made 2 of the custom manifolds basically.
Not too many people carry a spare, maybe spare belts, but a manifold.
Yeah, that's it.
It's been good watching this build unfold on YouTube. I remember you couldn't even get it in and out of your garage, so you had to adapt your own house just for this vehicle.
Yeah, and also, so we're using the McKinnon's engine mounts from Billy. And I guess another thing about the conversion, it's all plumbed in Raceworks dash plumbing, which means it's got the braided line for reliability, yep. Essentially. So yeah,
that's cool. And another innovative workshop, McKinnon's, all work closely together.
Yeah, we do work closely together. Billy and Steve, shout out to them.
Yeah, let's go and have a look at this tray, mate. Okay, I mentioned under the bonnet that Richard's done. You've learned to TIG, you've done it all yourself. Underneath, mate, you've got dual fuel in this. You've TIGged up your fuel tanks. What else is going on? What's happening here, mate? You've TIGged up this whole shelf system?
Yeah, so I TIGged up this rear drawer, so it's designed to be sealed, and it's just a spare parts drawer. So it's got a pinch weld around it. It's a bit of a mess at the moment, but like I said to you, custom car, there are a lot of spare parts, so like belts, thermo fans, power steering pumps, yep. Alternators, starter motors, because it's an auto, you need to carry a lot of spare parts.
Mate, it looks like you've used none of this on your trip, yeah. So she's hassle-free trip.
Just this little bit here. So I spun it at Nagala Rocks, just high load, slow speed, no air getting on a plastic pulley, and it just obliterated. But I'll go home and you can get billet pulleys. So
yeah,
I'll go
replace it
and just make it more reliable, basically. So
the question is, did you get through Nagala, or did someone have to give you a little help?
Got through Nagala in 2-wheel drive.
Yeah, there you go. It's not that bad, Nagala. The big boys can do it. So also underneath the fuel tanks, how many litres have we got?
Custom fuel tanks. So we've got one back here at 100, and then one in the front at another 100. So 200 all up. And it's running 17, 18 litres per 100, so probably 1100, 1200k range on it.
Yep.
Now the cool thing, it's a full custom fuel system. I designed it myself, so all the breathers and everything, all the fillers. And I guess the cool thing, well, I think is cool, is I've got 2 main tanks, so
yep.
I can switch between them. So it's not a transfer pump.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just pulling from either tank 1 or tank 2.
2, yeah, excellent.
So yeah, there's got 2 low pressure pumps, one on each tank, feeding a surge tank, and then a high pressure pump to the rail. So
17 litres, the 100, not too bad. There must be a bit of weight in this thing.
Yeah, I reckon, so without anything on the tray, and with 200 litres of fuel, it weighed 2,400 kilos, and now I've got a fair bit on the tray. So I reckon probably with a driver it's around 2,800 kilos. Yep. So yeah, it is a bit. That is a bit
of weight, but with this engine it just hum along.
It hums along, yeah, that's right. And that's another thing forgot to mention about petrol diffs. We did that because we can GVM upgrade.
Yep.
So this has a GVM upgrade.
Yeah, okay. What weight are we talking now?
So we can go up to 3,300 kilos.
Yep, very nice. Custom exhaust, you build all that yourself?
Yeah, just 3 in stainless.
Stainless?
Yeah, it's got a cat and one muffler. Might put another muffler on it when I get home, because it is that little bit loud. Not in the cabin, but
we'll go for a squirt soon, you can show me. You've made provisions for a water tank. It's not in there this trip, but you've made provisions underneath as well?
Yeah, that's right. There's provisions for a 60-litre water tank, and I just didn't get a chance to plumb it all up before this trip.
That is really utilising space, isn't it? For something that you've bobbed too, is that right?
Yeah, so there's 300mm off the back of this chassis. So it is short, and I've done that just for departure angle.
Yep.
That's another reason why that drawer sits so far in.
Yep.
Because I wanted to be able to, I guess, take it on the tracks and not have to worry about like if the drawer came all the way out to there.
Yeah, okay, you're going to destroy it. Yeah.
It's flush with the rail basically. So.
Really have thought ahead. Yeah. Moving up to the top, mate. What's going on up here? You got your toolboxes. You've designed all these yourself?
Yeah, so full steel tray. It wasn't built to be light. It's on the heavy side. It's built to be wheeled. I did it all in CAD, and I guess just from the back, I've got obviously the flap for the draw, and then I've sunk all the lights in flush so I can back into stuff and not worry about smashing my lights.
Yep, very strong. So that's LCS mounts too on the tray.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So actually, another thing I forgot to mention was we 3D scanned the 4580.
Yep.
And I did all the mounts using the 3D scan data off CAD.
Yep.
And so this is a 4mm mount. We've run FEA through it for 2 ton on the tray, and
so guys can now grab them when they build their custom tray. You've got them all worked out for the 80 series chassis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all the heights and stuff are perfect, so you can grab a set off LCS.
Yep. I see you've just got your toolboxes, spare wheel, gas. You've got it all sussed out.
Yeah,
Fridge doesn't move.
Yeah, I made like a little spare wheel holder. It was sort of a quick and dirty CAD job.
Yep, I see that. It's all right.
Strapped it all down.
Hasn't moved?
No, it hasn't moved. Got a high lift down there. It's not the most convenient setup. I think when I get home, I'll build a canopy for it, but it's good. It works for now. And yeah, so custom jerry can holders, just like 2mm, got my logo on them, and fridge.
Plenty of bracing up the front as well.
Plenty of bracing on the front. This is designed to be a roll hoop, just in case.
Yeah, yep.
So
it looks like you're going to be protected if you lean her over.
Exactly, yeah.
And you've got the fan up the front here.
Yeah, so that's a trans cooler. So I've just sort of decoupled it. The Barras normally run through the radiator, but I've decoupled it just so we can expel a few more kilowatts of heat energy. And then I got the 2 sealed King Chrome toolboxes, so they're really good. It is nice having a couple of sealed boxes on the tray. Yep. And then I've just drilled the max tracks and nut-serted them into one of them. I haven't had to use them yet, which is good, I guess.
All this custom work at the back too, with just your extra width for the wheels and.
Yeah. So all this is bar work. Just using the LCS bender and.
Yep.
And just did it all alley skin, same as the front.
I like the steps. Everything's themed in, mate. It's all the same size tubing and.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right
exactly.
through.
Yeah. Try to keep it like I really like the tube guard front, and just tried to match the rear and sort of tie it all in, like you said. So
this cab is very well protected.
Yeah.
Mate, I think it's time we kick her in the guts, go for a little bell.
Yeah, sounds good.
You going to try and scare me?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Mate, this is bloody comfy.
It's not bad for an old girl.
The first thing I notice is how comfortable I am in the seats. Are they up higher? What seats have we got?
Yeah, so custom seat frame, WRX seats, 02. So I kind of wanted, because it is built to be wheeled, I wanted something that hugs you a little bit.
Yep.
So I went the WRX, and yeah, they are up higher. I've literally done the ergo only for me, and I quite like being up high and just looking at the guards and stuff. So
it's kind of like sitting on a stool. I struggle with, because I'm tall, with non-40 seats, but this has got plenty of knee room. I'm quite comfortable in here.
Yeah, which is good because I've extended the dash 65mm, so to get the AC, and you can see here.
Oh yeah, in the glove box?
Yeah, in the glove box. So I've actually put 65mm in the dash in this custom shelf. Yep. So I'm glad that your knees aren't hitting against that.
Nowhere near it, mate. Well, while we're talking about the dash, what is going on? You've custom built the whole dash. What's on there?
Yeah, what's on there? I guess we've got the AC, obviously. Only 2 vents. I could only fit 2 in. We've got a doubled-in head unit with Apple CarPlay, which is a must for me. And then I've got a bunch of rocker switches, the AC control, which is like a nice billet alley thing, and a couple of gauges that are external to the engine. So I've got my 12-volt gauge, and I've got my fuel gauges as well. And this one's not plumbed yet, but it's just it's going to be for an air tank. Yep. And then I've got obviously the Haltech dash. So
that's a cool bit of kit.
Very cool bit of kit. So I think with a modern powertrain like the Barra, it's really nice, and you can sort of scroll through different layouts and get different sensors and whatnot. So
yeah, that's cool. And so this has got to plumb this all in. It's a custom loom, or you use some of the Ford loom? Or?
Yeah, it's a Ford engine loom, and then it's basically a completely different body loom.
Yep. And you've made the whole loom?
Yeah, that was one thing I outsourced on the car. So I got I guess a patch loom made, and then I also talked to an auto electrician, or the auto electrician wired the whole car for me. So
very nice. Above our head.
Yeah, roof console.
Yep.
So I did this off 3D scan data. I literally just took a section of the cab and just drew it all up in CAD. And it's 2mm alley.
Yep.
And the design's changed a little bit now. Our current version has like a removable fascia panel, which is a bit nicer. But yeah, it picks up off the 2 bolt holes at the front, and literally can go any 40 series with a Viper motor at the bottom. This will fit into.
Yeah. Very, very cool. And so you put some lining all in your roof?
Yeah, so unfortunately it's fallen down, but yeah, it's custom trim this cab, so I've got headliner on the roof. It's all sound deadened as well. You might not be able to hear it because there is a bit of wind noise coming through the front here, but
sound deadened on the floor, behind us, doors.
Yeah, on the roof as well. And yeah,
it's so much easier to have a conversation in here.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it.
Behind the seats, mate. What's going on?
Behind the seats, I've got a 110 amp hour lithium.
Yep.
Then I've got a DC-DC charge controller, red arc one. And then I've just got a couple of Andersons out. And they also, I guess my console fridge is powered off that lithium as well.
Yep,
and
okay.
my fridge in the rear. So.
Oh, that's cool. So I'm leaning on the fridge here.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
cup holders.
Cup holders, wireless charger. Yeah, handbrake. I'm custom made. So actually from the ground up, this thing's got custom floor pans in it.
Yep.
So LCS and I do a kit for engine conversions, custom floor pans, custom trans tunnel with a removable lid and a rubber gasket. So you can sort of get access to it all.
And people can purchase this.
People can purchase it.
Yep.
So it's like a welding kit. So any sort of early style cab with a flat floor, and you know it's got that fuel tank profile in it and stuff.
Yep.
People want to do conversions without using that fuel tank. Just cut it all out and just spot weld it all in. It's all just laser cut and CNC folded and a welded kit.
You did all the 3D printing yourself?
Yeah, all 3D scan, and yeah, I designed it all in CAD myself. Yeah.
Nice one, mate. Okay, and what's happened? It's my turn. Am I allowed to get up this thing, ping it a bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mate, so something else, inside the door cards, they're really, really cool. You guys are doing them?
Yeah, so this is 3mm ABS plastic and it's all milled.
Yep.
And we have multiple different styles and colours, some with our logo in it, and just some original ones as well.
Yep.
And I think they come in three or four different colours.
Yeah, that's cool. Black, grey, brown.
Yeah.
Your standard interiors.
Yep.
I think we're going to have to talk about a Mr. Landcruiser set.
Yeah, I think we can make it happen.
Very sick. So with this, the floor too, mate, the vinyl, it looks like it fits. How did you get that to mould?
Yeah, like custom, it's custom. So I did outsource that.
Yep.
I outsourced all the trim actually.
Makes me wonder how they do it. Do they heat it up and mould it in? Or?
Yeah, I think he did a bit of that, and it's actually in a couple of different pieces as well.
Okay, I'm only allowed to do 80k an hour here, damn it.
Is that foot to the floor?
Yeah. And how did you make foot to the floor? How did you make this pedal work? This is the Falcon
pedal.
You make your own adapter?
Yeah, it's sort of a Billy. It's partly McKinnon's, but I've modified it. So yeah, It's more or less just my own pedal adapter. Yeah.
It's so nice to. It's just responsive. It's not too touchy at all.
Nah, not too touchy, and it's sort of like that engine setup I was talking to you about. Like it's built to drive responsive. I didn't want boost lag or anything on the setup. It is built to wheel, so it's sort of it's all small turbo, log style manifold, so it picks up pretty well. Yeah.
I can't wait to see some of the footage of you wheeling this thing.
Yeah.
Bet you she goes everywhere.
It does. Yeah. No, it's good.
I do like the height, mate. We've got good clear. Your eyes are out of the sun when you sit up tall. You don't need a visor because you're up so high.
Yep.
And there's a bit of a shade from the LED at the front as well.
Yeah, that's another one actually. So me and Laurie are doing these light bar brackets.
I saw the brackets.
To do steady light bars. So again, same thing. Use a 3D scan and just made it work using a 3D scan and CNC folded some brackets. You just nut-insert them into the edges of your windscreen.
Yep.
And then you can bolt up light bars. So
more stuff on my wish list, mate.
yeah. AC was a must for me because from Victoria, you just get cooked when you're up in far north Queensland. So
I daily at 40, so you just have to. Aircon, power steer, all the things that I couldn't imagine driving this without power steering. This steering wheel works so well for the amount of leg room, it just blends in nicely. I think even a bigger guy could sit in here, and my stomach's nowhere near the steering wheel. This has been very entertaining, mate. We'll get back to the workshop.
Yeah, let's do it.
That is sick, and I'm on such a high. That's the first Barra I've ever driven, mate, and I am in love. The response, how smooth it is, the pickup on this thing. What a beautiful, beautiful job you've done. It's blown me. I am on a high from driving that. It's so different from the 2H. No matter how big your turbo is, this thing is sweet. Mate, woo! I've got to ask, I did notice you're missing the kick fence. Where are they gone? What's happened there?
Yeah, it's a bit of a controversial one. I deleted them to put speakers in behind, and also I've got AC.
Yep.
So I figured I didn't really need them. And I think also, sealing on river crossings and stuff like that.
Absolutely, mate. So they were pretty useful back in 1973 without aircon.
Yep.
You just don't need it anymore. And as I was hopping out too, I noticed you've got your air set up here as well, mate.
Yeah, so I've got a twin compressor under the seats, a 4-litre tank, 2 outlets on this side and 1 on the other side. So basically one is like a solenoid and using the pressure control app. So I just plug it into the tyre and walk away, set a pressure.
Set your pressure.
Yeah.
Very easy.
Really easy. And then the other one's just a straight through in case that fails, and also just to use an air gun.
Air gun, very, very nice. Mate, you've got a long drive ahead of you. You've another over 1,000 Ks to get home. You've done 10,000 Ks. You must know this car pretty well now. Is there anything you want to tweak, anything you want to build? What's coming up in the future? Yeah,
there's a couple of little things that I want to tweak and just get right. And stuff that I haven't done, I want hydro bumps in it. The cooling setup's not quite right on high ambient temps, high load on the sand, like the super soft sand.
Yep, it's getting a bit hot.
Yeah, it gets a little bit hot. So I'll tweak the cooling setup, whether that be a shroud, a different thermo, or maybe an oil cooler.
Just gonna have a play.
Just get it right.
Yep.
And then I want a canopy. I need a canopy. I'm just so sick of not having one.
A bit more space too.
Yeah, a bit more space.
Back into the rafters.
And ease. Like, just, get to camp. And at the moment, I'm tying all the swags down on top.
Yeah.
And it just takes ages. Like,
just throw it in and go.
Yeah, throw it in and
Especially
go.
when you're on the move every night.
That's it. Exactly.
Throw it in and go.
Exactly.
Richard, it's been such a pleasure. Again, if you don't know, Designed and Built YouTube. Follow these guys. Follow LCS 4x4 on Instagram. Innovative stuff, mate. Have a safe journey back down, and thanks for making Mr. Landcruiser one of your stops.
Thanks so much.
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Yo!